them and then refills them for them. In just getting 5 of them will amount to $30,000 a year income over every year for the course of the 30 years. $30,000 a year income over 30 years, just each year for 30 years. That's just getting 5. So I want people to keep that in mind. And I'm going to take you by to see several of them today. I have 115 of them right now. I'm going to take you by to see several. We're going to go through several neighborhoods because I want to open up their eyes to exactly what kind of houses they are that we're buying for these price points, so they can see the neighborhoods, see the types of houses, and then start identifying some for themselves. So we're going to do this throughout the next couple hours, and then we're going to clip them all together. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys soon. Basically 2 areas that I want to cover today, and that's going to be taking you through Portsmouth, through Craddock, and we'll go by several that we have already of slow flips. Okay. And then going to downtown Newport News, and we have 50, 60 in a small pocket over there. So we're going to go over the numbers of what we paid for them, how much they're selling, how much they're sold for, how much we collect a month. Because what I want you to get out of this today, or what I want you to leave within your head, is that you can buy these with no money at all. All you have to do is identify it and say, yes, this one I want, right? Okay. And then we have people, first of all, it'll get funded for you, so you don't need to have a dollar. We have people who will fill them for you, so you don't have to do any work. Then you just collect, and if they ever default or went bad, we have people who will go to court and handle the eviction for you. Okay. So it doesn't get any easier than that. Yeah. And so your job is solely marketing and identify and say, yes, I want that one. Okay. And that's it. And that's why I want you to see what it is, so that you can actually compare something in your head when you go on a lead, and that's it. And then you can move forward on them and start knocking, right? He says, we just decided we are selling the house. I went out to my car and I picked up, back then it was a $5 bill. He's like, I picked it up and it's all We Buy Houses. And he called me from right in the driveway. He's like, it was just fate. You know, all this time he thought it was a $5 bill. They just decided to sell the house. He picks it up and there it is. We Buy Houses. And I think I made like 30 grand on that deal. And that was a deal that was on the side of the road. Someone else took it and chucked it. It was on the side of the road. It's amazing where deals end up coming from, right? You know, how things come full circle. But the key is to have more and more crap out there, always. More stuff out there at any given time. Be it guerrilla cards, billboard cards, business cards, signs, your postcards when you're doing mailings, you're driving for dollars. Just the more stuff that's out there. This is free. This first neighborhood we're going into, I think I only have 3 left in this neighborhood, but they're great examples. They're little tiny shoebox houses, and I think I paid 18 to 20 grand. I've had them probably for 10 years now. Get $875 a month, and don't do anything. And it's not like it's the first tenant. So sometimes people are like, yeah, but it's 30 years. Yeah, it is. But the average American, I know we went over this, the average American moves every 5.5 years. So when, in fact, they do move, they have a choice. They can sell it. They have, they're a contract owner, so they can sell it, in which case you would get paid off significant money, in which case you would take that money and buy 3 more with that money. Or, more likely than not, they end up giving it back to you, in which case you put a new person in and that 30 years starts over again.
Further down, and that's where we found that abandoned house.
So this is one of them right here. And this one was interesting. When we had the first person that was in here, was here for maybe 2 or 3 years. And then when I got the house back, I remember back here in the right corner in the yard, they had chickens. And they moved out and they left all their chickens. And I remember, I'm like, what am I supposed to do with the chickens? I called animal control and they took care of it. I'm like, I don't know what to do. They left a whole bunch of chickens back there. But now, I don't even know who's in there now, but whoever's in there now, they've been there 6, 7 years. And we don't hear a word from them. I mean, that one we bought off of MLS. Look at this, is a perfect one right here too. So you might want to even write down the address. 3217. This is Killian. That's like perfect. 3217 Killian. And these houses are pretty much all the same. They are building a couple new ones, but for the most part, they're little shoebox houses. They're perfect.
small little one.
Yep. Arcadius. So this one is interesting to me. So this house here on the corner is not mine, but my lender loaned to another guy on this house, another guy who I know, and he bought this one for $90,000. And my lender was telling me, because I told him it's the street that my house was on, and he's like, "Oh, I know that street. I just did a deal," and he loaned on that one and loaned over $90,000 on it. We bought this one here, which you can see it's not the same. It's a little bit smaller. It doesn't have a garage, but we bought this one for $25,000. And so the lender was like, "Well, absolutely, yeah, I'd love to loan on that." We bought this one for $25,000. He loaned on one right across the street and loaned $90,000 on it. And we've had the person who's in there is our very first person. We've never seen the house again. Didn't do any work to it. Bought it, sold it at $89,000, $875 a month for 30 years. Never see the house again. Once I drill those numbers into people, because once you get a grasp on the fact that they're paying $875 for 30 years, and I don't know if you've ever calculated, that comes out to $315,000 they end up paying over the course of 30 years. That's insane.
Right.
That's your return you're getting on Kevin, do you remember this house?
Yep.
Yeah. It was flipped a while ago. There was a personal story with that one. Kevin's girlfriend.
The crazy girlfriend involved. Yeah.
And then didn't you do one right here, Kevin, on Downs?
So yeah, it was this house.
This one right there.
This
right?
exact house.
Yep.
It tried to worked it. It fell through though. And never actually got to buy it.
And Mike Fout's first one is on here on Knox. And then I have a little tiny house here, which you'll laugh at when you see it. I paid 15 grand for it, but now again, it's been 10, 11 years and we get paid every single month from it. So where you see this row of new houses here, there used to be a boarded up elementary school here. And I regret of mine, I never even contacted Jim before about it. They sell that thing, I never even thought about it. But directly next door to
They just tore down the elementary school.
they tore down
all
all
these.
the construction. This little tiny house here, I own.
Oh, wow, yeah, that's small.
It's a little shoebox, but I'll tell you what, it produces every single month. I haven't, it's been 10, 11 years now. I get $875 a month for it. It's been sitting there for 10, 11 years, and it produces great. And I don't remember what I paid. I paid 15, 16 grand for it.
What about maintenance or anything?
We don't do nothing.
They're responsible for
Yep,
everything.
we do absolutely
Okay.
nothing. I don't touch a thing in it. Absolutely nothing. A lot of new construction.
A lot
popping
of
up
new
here.
construction.
How about it? So there's a lot.
Man, I ain't been down this street in a while.
I used to own this second one on the left here, but we sold that one to Virginia. Do you remember that one, Kevin?
Yep.
We used to own that one there before they built this one next door. But this is a great, great neighborhood. I love this neighborhood because they're all little tiny shoebox houses.
Right.
They're perfect for what we do.
And how did you find most of these? Was it just like driving for dollars?
So
or?
that first one that I showed you on Killian, I got that one off the MLS.
Okay.
Which is, I always talk about the MLS is dead, and we call it the misleading lead service, and all of that is true for wholesaling. And there was a time we can wholesale off the MLS. However, slow flips we can still buy off the MLS.
Okay.
And the reason we can buy off the MLS is because slow flips, as you know, I've said before, I consider them to be in real estate purgatory. Landlords don't really want them because they're the high turnover, high maintenance, high headache properties. Rehabbers don't want them because there's very little, if any, retail sales out there.
Okay.
So they don't want to put the money in, renovate something, and then they can't sell it.
Right.
So they generally sit on the market. And when we see them sit, we'll make low offers on them and pop them right off the MLS. The best places to get slow flips, besides your own marketing, is going to be from the MLS, from Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, and the number one source, believe it or not, is going to be from other wholesalers. Because other people that are not in the slow flip business, they become useless to them. Because again, the same reasons. They can't wholesale it, and the landlords don't want them, and the rehabbers don't want them. So they contract this great deal, and then can't get rid of it.
Okay.
And so it works out as a bonus for us. And other wholesalers is the same as building your buyer's list. You contact everybody else you see. You see their signs, their magnets on the car, their websites, everybody else you see that's in the same business you're in, the We Buy House business. You're just calling them and saying you want it to be added to their buyer's list.
That's what a lady did that this week. She said she wanted to be added to our buyers list.
Exactly.
And then she mentioned that she's in an investment group herself and yada yada.
Yep.
So we did take her information.
You take
back.
hers and you
Yeah.
get added to you get on her list and put her on your list.
Yeah, we did do that this week with one lady. I think that was like Wednesday.
So I'm a big fan of doing all of the marketing and not just, and that's why I tell people to track where the leads come from, because what happens is most of your leads are going to come from direct mail, your bandit signs, and your internet. So that's where most of your leads are going to come from. Okay. And so when people start seeing that most of their leads are coming from direct mail, they stop doing all the other little things. And that's why I think it's real important to do all of them, because the little things might only amount to a deal or two a year, but that's still huge. If you an extra deal could be 20 grand a deal, so even if it's just 2 deals, it's still huge. And if you do a bunch of those little things, it can amount to a full-time business. This is another school that they tore down, and now they're building new construction out here.
So you do look at commercial complexes as well?
Yeah, I'll look at anything. I gotta open up my own brain to be more creative with certain things that you don't think of. I regret I never called on that old school.
Back there.
Yeah.
You have done no developments already?
Not developments, but new construction, yeah.
Okay.
I stopped in 2013, but yeah, we've done a bunch of new construction.
Is that more tedious?
No, actually, a lot of people prefer new construction to rehabbing because you know your exact numbers.
Okay.
When you're rehabbing, you're not that you're guessing, but you're estimating a lot on what, you don't know what you're going to find until you open up the wall. You don't know what's going to be back there. When you're building, you know exactly how many pieces of wood, exactly how many screws, exactly how much everything. And so it's a lot easier to have exact numbers.
Right.
That's not it. I was like, wait, I own one right here. I know it's a corner house, but it wasn't that color anymore. What's that room there? Turn around.
What happens when you own a lot of houses? Huh?
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing.
Oh, no, it's not. I'm on the wrong street. That was Woodland, so we used to own the one. Actually, it looks like it's boarded up now. I remembered it was at the Dunkin' Donuts, and that's why I turned to the Dunkin' Donuts, but it was the wrong one. I want to go by that one that he had the appointment on yesterday. this neighborhood is a regret of mine that when I started buying, I was advised, poor advice, but I was advised, oh, don't buy in Craddock. There's gangs and bad this and bad that, and so purposefully, I anything out here I ignored, and I so regret it because this area turned into a gold mine. So I think this is the one I used to own. It was 6-8. What is the one he had? Kevin, do you remember your one from yesterday? Was it 12? 12, 14. Well, they're all pretty much looking the same, other than this one. But that one looks like somebody's doing something too. What's the numbers on that one?
You talking about 13 Barney Place?
Is that it? 13? All right. So what? Do we see any numbers? Got to be in the other direction. Yes. So yesterday,
new construction in the corner there.
I know.
Yeah.
So yesterday, one of our guys had an appointment out here, and he's likely going to be getting it for 30-ish, and it's a duplex, and one side is rented, and the other side, he said, needs full renovation. This is 9. This is it, 13. So I mean, so you get that for 30. So what he's going to do right away is he's going to sell it to another investor and let them deal with the renovation. And it's just going to be numbers to him. So he'll buy it for 30 and he'll get $975. You get a little bit more because it's a duplex. The other guy will do the work to it. He'll spend his own money, he'll renovate it and everything, but then he'll probably collect $900 per side. So he'll be getting $1,800 a month, and then he'll be paying out $1,000 a month to our guy. But our guy did nothing. Got a contracted it, sold the contract, gets paid on it for 30 years. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense.
You're just the bank. I mean, I can't stress enough. It's better to be the bank.
I like it. So who gave you the poor advice not to buy out here?
A friend of mine who's still a good friend of mine, but this is when I was new. We renovated and flipped this house.
A lot of stuff getting renovated around here.
Yeah. Well, now this neighborhood's a gold mine now, but you know, it comes around. So this brick building's for sale right now for about $1 million. So this one right next to it was a slow flip of ours, and it's not anymore. And so let me circle around and I'm gonna tell you a story about that one so you can take a good look at it. The reason I want to share this one with you is because it answers the question of what if this house was one of our worst case scenarios that could happen, and it still turned out to be highly, highly profitable. So, you know, we bought these houses for 60 months, right? Well, this house here, I had the same girl who was a tenant in it for 59 months. So she literally paid off the whole house but one payment. I put another guy in there who stayed for about 2 years, and he was a fireman out in Chesapeake. He came here, he wanted to rehab kind of like on the side. He was going to dabble in it. He gutted the house to nothing, and then he defaulted, and he gave us the house back. So why I say worst case scenario, so now the house was paid off, but I came in, we opened the door, and you can see through the whole house. It was nothing there. He took every wall, it was just studs. And so I was a little bit unhappy. And I was like, what the hell am I going to do now? So we stuck out signs, same as we always do. And my plan was to see if I can get somebody to still buy it as a slow flip.
Yeah.
And I did not. However, a buyer came and ended up paying us $40,000 for it as a rehab. And he did well with it. He renovated it, put it on the market, sold it, probably got $170 for it. So he did well with it. But what did we get out of it? So we had the house completely paid off for us. We had nothing into it. And then that's a worst case scenario, still walked away with 40 grand profit in cash. So I always loved that house because I loved that was a great worst case scenario. What if they destroy the house?
Right.
And that one they did destroy the house.
Okay.
So this building here is for sale. I've been looking at it. It's about $1 million. Maybe it was 1.1. But if the numbers don't make sense, I think it's 10 units in there, and it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
makes sense for is one of those healthcare people who.
Well, that's what it used to be. Or
Right.
maybe still is.
So I bet you the numbers work if
Assisted
you're getting
living.
those kind of
about to say
assisted
the
living
senior,
checks
yeah.
from the government.
So it's a good looking house for us. I used to own this one, 7. Don't own it anymore.
Is that a Slowflip or?
It was. That one's got a lockbox on it. Makes me think there's some kind of activity on it. So we used to own a brick duplex here, and it was slow flipped. And then the guy who bought it, the market started coming up. The guy who bought it, he actually closed on it, tore it down, built 2 new houses, and then there's a lot that I guess he's going to build a 3rd one on. So where our duplex was, now there's 2 houses there. But we did great. We bought it for like 35 grand, and we sold it to him I think for 99 grand. But still turned out to be a score for him because he was able to build 3 houses on it. So again, everybody wins. We didn't have to renovate it. We didn't do anything. Everybody wins. Then we own one right over here somewhere, I think. This is it.
What street are we on?
Quackenbush. That's
This
it.
is Quackenbush?
Yep.
Wow.
Wow, it looks a lot better.
Oh,
If
that
you
looks
could have seen
great.
what that property looked like, it's still obviously being renovated inside, but it looked like it was crumbling. And the last time I actually drove by it, the house looked like it was crumbling. And it looks pretty good right now. I'm impressed. Somebody's obviously working on it and putting care into it. And that was one I think we paid 25 grand for, and that's probably the 3rd buyer we have on it. And sometimes you'll go through that. Sometimes you'll go through buyers where we find what we call a lifer. You'll find a buyer who thinks they're just skirting a credit check or something, and they move in, but they have no intentions of taking it serious, like renovating it and living there, or renovating it and renting it. But then you'll get one that's a lifer, and as soon as we get a lifer, we know we'll never see that house again.
Okay.
That's it. We're just going to get paid every month, and it's never going to turn again, and I love that. Now I have 2 next door to each other on this street. And these, like the rest of Craddock, is old, historic. These were built in the 90s, but they never took off. They kind of got comped in with everything being old, so we were able to buy these really cheap. And as a matter of fact, I think one of them I bought from a homeowner, and the other one I bought off MLS. I think it's these 2.
33.
Yep, that's it. 30 and 33.
31 and
32.
33.
Yeah, 30.
Blue and the red door.
Yep.
Oh,
blue and
these,
the red
okay,
door.
not
Yep.
that one.
Yep. And yeah, 33 and 35, Cooper. And so they're built in the 90s. So they're nice houses. They're not like they're old.
Right.
And so they're 2 bedrooms, but then also have a loft up top. So everyone uses them as a 3rd bedroom, but they're listed as 2 bedrooms. And this is another regret I have, because there was a ton available here, and I only got 2 of them. I've tried to get more, and I only got 2, but they're great. We buy them, we bought them at 30 or less. We sold them at 99, and they turned out to be fantastic. Do you remember this was a lot
Yes,
that we
this
were
was a
working on?
lot.
This was all open land here.
I didn't see the vision, somebody did.
Yep.
Those are almost the worst ones. You're like, somebody had, less blinders than you did, Somebody saw a possibility in a field.
So those empty lots were for sale too at the time?
Yep.
Yeah, somebody passed and they owned like 4 or 5 lots all next to each other. And
Okay.
my brother and sister were trying to sell them. And like, I think my number was like 70 grand or something for all of it. And they got way more. I was like, I'm not comfortable going higher than that. And it worked out fantastically, just not for me.
Right. there's some decent sized houses they build up there too. So.
Yep. And you can drive like right away. You see this one here. So when you drive around, they'll scream at you. They'll literally be screaming at you. Send me a letter. Send me a postcard. Send me something. I'm going to U-turn and go back up the street. Need somebody.
You do your driving styles. Do you carve out an area in advance, or you just?
So I don't need anymore. So I used to, when I had more time and more desire, I used to drive around for hours and hours and hours, pick out an area. The way I do it now is when I have an appointment, I generally arrive 30 minutes before the appointment or drive by my comps, and during that time I'll drive that area wherever my appointment is. So we get this house and this house, 55 and 57. And then this one here on the corner, the red door. Those are the regular 3 halves. They weren't slow flips.
How many do you own in total now?
115 or 116.
You still remember them, huh?
Not all of them. There's a lot I don't. I remember the ones that I went on the buy call for. If I went and bought it, I'll remember those. I know it's going to be on the left-hand side, and it's a corner. And it had big glass windows in the front. All of these houses I love for slow flips. That's going to be it right there. Yep. So that fence is new since I've been here. I've never seen this fence before. And I don't even particularly like it. That's the front of the house. I'm like, you fenced in the front of your house, but that's not my business. Yeah, I haven't seen this house in years. And that's one I don't remember what I paid, but it was 20 grand, 25 grand. And it's been occupied ever since. We get paid every month.
You fenced the whole thing. It's
Yeah,
like, forget the neighbors.
Like a compound.
Yeah.
That beware a dog, so.
Say I care more about my dog than I do about visitors.
So his visitors will call.
All right, there's one last one I want to drive by in this neighborhood, only because it's another really, really interesting story. And then we'll get out of here before I keep it past halftime.
Well, we got time.
Really?
That's it.
Yeah.
All right, so it's this blue one here. So I'm gonna tell you an interesting story about this house. So this one I bought off of MLS, and it was a good slow flip, but it was a decent slow flip, but it was in deplorable condition, like deplorable. Floors were soft, everything. So the first guy that I got was a guy who already had another house from me. Well, he gutted it to nothing, studs inside, ran the electrical, but it was just studs, open walls, open everything. But he put on a new roof, he put on new siding, new windows, new door, the garage too. You can't see the garage yet, I'll show you in a second. He did the same thing, took off all the rotten wood, roofed it, sided it, everything, and then he moved to South Carolina. So he's like, I'm out of here, you can have the house. So I got the house, and I was again a little bit distraught because I got the house and then I opened up the door and it's gutted.
Right.
So normally I like something to be livable, right? So I get it and it's gutted. And so we debated, I was like, should we just finish renovating it and put it on the market? Or maybe somebody will take it as is. So we ended up selling it as a slow flip, as a rehab opportunity, because it's worth like $149 probably. We paid $30 for it. So I sold it at, I think, $89. I sold it for less than I probably could have. They've had it now for about 2 years, the people who got it, but they've been working on it slowly. Like I see there's a lockbox, so still nobody's living in it. And just maybe a week or two ago, I got a call verifying water getting turned on. So they're just finally getting to that stage now.
Wow.
So yes, they're buying it cheap, but for the last 2 years, they've been paying $875 a month. They're rehabbing it at their own pace, at their own leisure. And then when they're done, they'll probably put it on the market, and the market's been going up, probably get $169, $179 now. And everybody wins, and we get paid off. We owe nothing on it, and we get paid off at the end. And this is another one that was sort of a worst case, not really worst case, because they did do a lot of work. He put the new roof, new windows, new siding, but he left it completely gutted, studs inside.
Right.
It was wired with the electrical, but there not a stick of drywall, nothing. And you can see there's a garage here. He did the same thing. He roofed it, sided it, did everything. He made the place look
Looks
beautiful.
nice. Yeah.
And then you look at a house like that, and you're like, you paid $30,000 for it.
Yeah.
It's insane. And someone else is paying for all the work.
Right.
And that's the part that I'm constantly trying to stress to people. I'm like, someone else is paying for the rehab. Someone else is meeting the inspectors, pulling the permits. Someone else is doing all of that on their dollar and their time.
What's ahead of us is Merriman's.
This one, yeah.
He's doing
This is
pavers,
the one that
a
was in the
driveway.
news. A car hit it, and then the city was finding them. And
It's gonna look good when he's done.
he got
Especially
in a
the
big fight with the
pavers.
city about it. It made the papers. I posted it in our group a while ago because we knew the guy. So he does very similar business model to what we do as far as buying cheap houses, but he then renovates them, and then he does all Section 8.
Okay.
And I do not like that model at all. But everybody does their own twist on everything.
Right.
He's also got the staff to. He's got a company. So
Okay.
Yeah, he's got a
some
huge
resources
landscape
to
company.
throw at it. So it might be as much as a phone call. Hey, go out there on Tuesday, instead of him running out there and jumping around. So less
Okay.
mentally stressful, I think.
So, do you know this area?
I haven't been out here in about 6-7 years.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So there was a time where I didn't buy all of downtown Newport News. I bought in a section that I really like called Stewart Gardens. Now I'm everywhere.
Okay.
I'm literally all over the place now. In the beginning, when I started coming out here, I would only buy in my little pocket between 16th and 20th Street. Now I have there's everywhere. So what defines an area I will or will not buy in? Any area that I don't feel safe, I don't care how good of a deal it is, I take off. We've had some even just recently where it was a duplex and it was a seemingly really good price. We pulled up out there was like 6-8 guys sitting on the porch. It's right next door to a corner store. There's people outside everywhere, and I said I don't even want to get out of the car.
Okay.
So we just left.
Right.
I don't care if it's a good deal. Anyway, you're not going to feel safe. I don't want to mess with it. But you'd be surprised. A lot of these areas, people are like, oh, it's a bad area, it's a bad area. I said, I think it's a great area. I know the neighbors, the people are great. And so you can't just prejudge it because it's down here. There's a lot of great areas here. And there's a lot of opportunity here. As you drive around, you see them, you know, in all over the place. There's a lot of opportunity here.
I see a lot of people trying to rehab or rebuild.
Yep. This is one of our guys' houses. I actually referred it to him, but I didn't end up buying it. Turned into a great deal for him. He still has his very first person he ever put in there. All right, so this street, I took you here on purpose. We have a ton. Oh, look, they're working on this one. This is one of our houses here. This 1159 is actually the very first house that we ever did on 5-year money. The very first one we ever did on a 5-year note. And actually, it's looking good. They're doing a lot of work to it. And let me tell you something I love more than anything. When I drive by our houses and see them being worked on. One day I drove by here down this street, and I remember this one was having work done. There was one over there. I saw them carrying a roll of carpet in another one, and it almost brought tears to my eyes because I'm like, these are all my houses being renovated. So this one, as an example, this one was the very first one we did on 5-year money. I think we paid it's a long time now, it was 2011. It was either $16,000 or $18,000 for it. And I did replace the roof on this one. It had a real bad roof on it, so I replaced the roof, but that is all the work we've done to it. So now, and the person who's in there renovating now has only been there 3-4 months. This is probably the 5th person in that house, and each one's done some work, some did, some didn't, some stayed, you know, and but that's the very first one on the block that we did on the 5-year money. So then I also own this one now. This one's 1152. I bought this one off MLS. And this one I just purchased, and I want to say just, but it's probably been 2 years now. And I paid a little over our normal. I paid $32,000 for it, but it was in great shape. When I walked in, I was like, and now I love this block, so I want everything I can get on the block. Right. So as soon as I saw it, I was like, I'll take it. You know, that was it. I'm done, I'll take it. So we own these two right here, the white one and the yellow one right next to it. And again, this was like 25 grand. It's been years already of owning them. And I think I paid about 25 grand for them. They've been getting worked on. I can see this guy just put in new windows and a new front door. There was a ratty chain link fence in the front, which is gone. Oh, he put a new roof on it too. That had a
not on the right side, but yeah.
That had an old one of those big ugly shingle type roofs on it. So we put a new roof on it. And the yellow one, same thing. Then we own this one here, 1136. And this one I actually bought from another investor who was in the military, and so he was doing it with owner financing, but he would be out of town for 6 months at a time. And so she was kind of taking advantage of him, and it was becoming more of a stress and a headache to him. So I ended up taking it sub 2, and we actually still have the same tenant in there. We got her on track, and you know, sometimes people need that. They need to be strict, so that they actually pay the bills. When no one's making them strict, they just don't. I own one over there, but we're not going to turn because we still got a lot more in this block. So this one here on the corner, man, that looks like they put a new roof on there too. Can't tell. That's 1633 Roanoke. This one actually, my lawyer at the time, LT Kaplan, did the financing for us. He did the loan as we were still raising new private money, and I believe he did it short term though, where I think it was only a 24-month loan. Now we do 60-month loans, and so this, you know, it's again, haven't seen the house in years. Come by. It looks like they put an addition on because that wasn't there before. Yeah, so that's what's crazy about these. It's someone else's house. We're just the bank. We're the mortgage company. Someone else is in fact doing the work. So I'm going to tell you a really funny story on this one over here now. So this one here I'm gonna have to pull over and tell you this story, and then I'm gonna tell you a sad story about this one across the street. So this one here, I bought for $15,000. The first person who bought it from me gave me $5,000 down, never made one payment, never showed up at the house, never did anything. So I waited because they put so much down. So it probably about 4 or 5 months later, I finally went and got them out. And I only waited because they put $5 grand down and I felt bad. So I got a second person, gave me $5 grand down and needed to be fully renovated. And now mind you, I paid 15 for it. I already got back 10.
Right.
The second person did nothing again, right? So you can't see this now, but you couldn't even see the house. It was shrubs and trees. It was just a whole wall of crap, right? Well, anyway, so then the second person I got out. So then I said, I need to get something done with this house. The city's getting mad and the house looks like crap. So I called, we have some investors who have 5 and 6 and 7 houses from us and they completely renovate them. So I called one of them and I did a special deal for him where I think we only charge him $575 a month. And I gave him, I think, for $1,000 or $2,000 down, knowing he's going to do what he did.
Okay.
So he agreed, and so I gave it to him really cheap, like $575 a month. But keep in mind, I have $5 grand now out invested into this house.
Right.
So in 10 months, I'm free and clear of it, and it's sold for 30 years. So I did a deal with him. He came right away and took down all the crap in front, which was a lot. Put a new roof on it, new windows, been painting it. I mean, it's just doing an insane job with it. And now it's a beautiful performing house in the neighborhood. This house over here is not one of mine. And it's a regret of mine. So a friend of mine got this house and he had it under contract and I went out to look at it for him because he lives out of state. And it was in rough shape inside, but the price was right. It was still 25, 30 grand. And I didn't buy it from him. And then he ended up slow flipping it himself and another investor got it. And every day I drive past it and I'm like, what was I thinking? Because it's my neighborhood. What was I thinking? You know, and so it is what it is. So then I have these two here, this yellow one and the blue one across the street from each other. Now these two I owned longer before we were doing 5-year money, and both of these I think I paid 50 grand each for. And this was a long time ago. This was before I was in the 5-year payoff thing. Okay. So I had borrowed hard money on these, and my plan at the time was to renovate them and resell them. But that was as we were developing the plan for keeping them. So I ended up refining these into 5-year money. I had to pay off a little bit of excess because I overpaid. I didn't overpay. They were great deals, but they didn't fit into the 5-year formula.
Okay.
But they've been great performing. So now it's been 12 years, I guess, I've owned them. And again, when you do the math, $875 a month for 12 years, and it's just, you know, it's insane. The return you can get on these houses is unheard of. It's absolutely insane. Turn here first and then I'm going to loop back around to take it to the end of the block. So this one here, one of our guys in our group bought, and sold it completely filled with all the stuff. This was Lowell's house. He bought it completely packed with stuff, and another investor took it, and they're doing the entire renovation on it if they haven't already, and he's been getting paid and without doing anything. He didn't have to come out there to see the house. So 950 up here, 950 19th Street, which is this one right here. Interesting story on this one. Okay, so follow the numbers on this. I paid 25 grand for this house, and I had it rented, or, you know, slow flipped. I had a buyer in there the whole time. Well, then they had left food on the stove and went to sleep, right? Caused a fire. Now it was just a kitchen fire, but the entire inside of the house was all black from smoke, right? So they move out, and the city, the city busted in one of the windows, they boarded it up, and now I have this fire damaged house. So insurance ends up giving me $25,000, which is what I paid for the house. So I'm like, all right, well, I got a free house, but if I put it into renovating it, then, you know, it'll be a nicer condition house. But so what I did was I said, well, I got a free house and I have a fire damaged house. So I sold it as is, fire damaged, inexpensively. I sold it to an investor who rehabbed it. He only pays me $399 a month on a 30-year mortgage. But keep in mind, I got the house for free. I actually less than free because the person paid on it for about 2 years, and then I got 25 grand. But so the insurance gave me 25 grand, but I didn't put the money into the house. I sold it as is and let the other investor renovate it, and I gave him a really good deal. So he renovated it. Now he profits from it every month. I don't mind. I always tell people, I say, I want everybody to make money. I'm not like, oh, he's making money and I should get more. No, I get $399 a month, but I did nothing and I got the house for free. So there's no bad way to look at it.
So like when you give it to for $3.99 a month, how much is he gonna?
I think it was 59,000 was his total sales price.
Okay.
So here's a good one here to be mailing to. I'm gonna have to come out here and drive. I would like to buy everything in this neighborhood. I love this neighborhood. So this house here on the corner, I've had a contract on twice, but they can't sell it. There's like major title issues. And somehow or another, I guess the city's going to end up having to sell it on a tax sale. But I've had a contract on it. We've done all the title work, and it can't sell. They have too much title issues. So I watch it all the time, and I'll wait. Eventually, I'm guessing the city will sell it. So this one's another one that I own. And this one was so bad. Same guy, if you notice the paint color, same guy who did the other one. New roof, new everything here. This one was so bad that when I never seen the inside of this, I bought a package of houses. When I sent my guys out there to do pictures and video of it, they told me it's raining inside the house. It was so bad, they were inside the house and the water was just coming straight through. And I sold it to this guy, this contractor, and I drove by again and I'm like, holy crap, new roof. And you can see all the new wood, the fresh wood and everything. Then they were painting it and I'm like, holy crap, what a sweet, sweet deal. And they've just been working on it. This one here and ahead, that looks like another great one to be mailing to. Because you can just see it's it's just distressed. That's not enough. So this house right here, I did the video in if you remember in the class we showed the video of the before and after on that one. I paid $20,000 for that house. The guy who bought it completely renovated. You can look at the cars he has and the way, I mean, and he's got 4 or 5 houses from us now. He owns a construction company. And he renovates them with his crew, and then I think he rents them to his crew. But he's crushing. And he's got a bunch of houses from us, and I drive by and I look at it, and I'm like, holy crap! Look at how much work he's done to this house, and it's insane. I tried. This was at a foreclosure auction not too long ago. I tried to buy, and it went ridiculous. I was surprised. They started the auction at a ridiculous price. They started it at like $47,000. And I was like, my goal was 30 or under, and everybody, there was probably 30 people there, and as soon as they announced the starting bid, everybody turned around and left. The entire place turned around. So that brick one there we own, and I think we paid 25 grand for that. No, yeah, 25 or 28 grand from that. We bought that from another wholesaler. I'm sorry, I didn't tell you that one behind I just showed you, 20 grand, bought from another wholesaler. Okay. Where he had it on his list and couldn't sell it. It sat available. And then finally I texted him, hey, is it still available? And he said yes. And so I don't know if this one sold yet. This is the one I went to the auction on. Nope, still a lockbox on it. This one we bought from a wholesaler. They couldn't get rid of it. I think I'm on like my second buyer in there now. And they've been doing great with it. They pay every month. I'm not on top of people. Like people are like, oh, what do they do? Or how are they taking? I said, I have no idea. No different than Bank of America wouldn't know how you are at your house. Yeah. I said, I'm not involved in their lives. It's their house. I want them to take care of it and know it and love it as their house, not me being, their landlord coming in and checking on them. I'm not their landlord. And the reason I'm taking you to so many of these, I want you to get a feel for what you'll buy or what you'll say yes to or no to. Because sometimes people see something and all of a sudden they think that, well, that's not good enough or that's too good, it wouldn't sell for that. So this one here is one that I did not buy, this 2-story one, but one of our guys in our group bought it. And then ironically, a few years later, I got this one now, the one next to it. And then that's what made me really regret not buying this one, because I'm like, man, I ended up with the one right next door to it. And so Patrick bought this one, and I think he got it for 35 grand.
That's correct.
So he had to bring a couple dollars. Okay. This one I got next door, I paid 22 grand for. And, it's Fantastic. Producing same numbers as we do with everything else. Well, I have another one I was going to show you up here, but it looks like we're being detoured, so we're going to skip it, but you get the idea. Then I'm just going to take you to a few last ones. This whole neighborhood here, I absolutely love. My favorite is between 16 and 20. Okay. However, I'll buy all of them, and we're going to see some of those in a second. That's why I wanted to go to 20. I guess I better go around. A misconception people have with certain neighborhoods is they'll be like, oh, all the people this or all the people that, and that is such a misconception. There are good people everywhere.
Right.
There might be some bad seeds. There's bad seeds in every neighborhood. And you can't judge a neighborhood by something one person did or somebody did. And people do that. They say, oh, I wouldn't buy there because everybody is this. Everybody's not that. There's plenty of great people here. Most of the people that I see and know that are neighbors, they're just, it's great people, great neighborhood, take care of their houses, love where they live. So this house that I'm going to show you right now is another one that I did the before and after video in the event, and it was the one where I was able to interview the guy who actually ended up buying it, and it's this white one here. So I bought this house for $17,000, and I bought it from another wholesaler. Yeah. This is the one. It was listed. He had it listed on one of those. He had it on one of those local real estate investor groups. Yeah. And so he was advertising it, and everybody on that group was constantly almost making fun of him. Oh, it's too much. Nobody's going to buy in that area. All these negative things about it, right? And I just kept my mouth shut. And then after they beat him down long enough, then I said, hey, is it available? And I think he was only asking 20. And I offered originally, I think, 16, which he accepted. But then there was title issues came up on the judgments that had to be paid off. So I ended up going up to 17. Immediately when I got it, I sold it to an investor, that same one that I took, you just saw the RV. I sold it to him because I knew he would renovate it. Okay. Well, I came back and saw it. You see, brand new air conditioning unit, brand new roof.
That's the first thing I saw.
Brand new everything. And I went inside, granite countertops, stainless steel appliances, hardwood floors, everything. I have $17,000 total into this house. And every single thing that's been done, and you should see the bathrooms. I have video of it. You've seen it already.
Yeah, I've seen it on the...
Everything that's done in there, he paid for. His guys, his money. He paid to have it all done. I didn't spend any money on it. This is where I needed to go. Road closed.
And this person was going through the same thing.
Yeah.
They're trying to squeeze stuff.
Oh, I could have went. It says to through traffic. I'm not through. This is the street I was turning on. Going there. That's where I was heading, but I guess I'm gonna have to skip those two. Yeah, there's a bunch on this block I wanted to show you. Two of them that I bought that were built in the 90s. They look the same, but there's one house in between, and I paid 18 grand each for them. And they're nice houses. They were bank foreclosures. The bank had loaned 149 on them during the boom, and then during the bust everything went worthless, and so they had sold them really, really cheap. and I love those houses. But on the same block, we have probably 6 that other people in our group that I bought them as slow flips, and they're just crushing it with it, doing really, really good. And I'm putting on this house a while ago. Can you get it? Want to take you by one in particular that I'm thinking of, which is on the other end now. This is on 36th Street, 1031 36th Street. And this is one of the first ones I bought stepping outside of my little pocket. I always loved my little pocket. And then, and then this house was just so cheap, and it was $16,000, and we went and looked, and I was like, okay, let's just do it. And then when we get there, I want to go over it with you and explain to you how the numbers ended up working out, because you know, again, it's been 10, 11 years now, and I'm like, when you do the math, you're like, holy. So there's people that will tell you, I would never buy in an area that I wouldn't live in, I would never buy yada yada, or you're not going to get appreciation here, which is true. You're not going to get appreciation in these type neighborhoods, and that's true. You don't get as much appreciation, but what you do get is unprecedented cash flow. Unprecedented. And I always try and use the numbers. I'm like, if I was to buy a nice area Virginia Beach townhouse, and let's say it's worth 150 grand, but I got a deal on it and I got it for 100 grand, right? So that's a great deal. The amount of rent it's going to get is going to be about $11.75 a month, and I spend 100 grand. Or I can come out here and buy, I could probably get 4 houses, but let's say I can buy 3 houses at 30 grand each and have some money left over, or whatever, 33 each, whatever, and get $875 each for them. I'm like, so I can either get $11.75 over here, but maybe get better appreciation, or I can get $2,400, $2,500, $2,600 over here and not get appreciation. Guess what happened to that appreciation? I got pre-funded it in cash. Who cares? I don't care about the appreciation. So many people are obsessed with that appreciation, and I'm like, I'm not worried about the appreciation. I'm worried about the cash flow. I'm worried about the money that we're actually getting. Which way it is, Kevin? Oh, I think it's right there. You see any numbers?
No, that one.
Oh, yeah. The second batch?
Yep.
Okay.
It says 1039.
11/10/39.
We're 1031. So let me tell you a funny story about this house. I'm gonna pull over and tell you. So that house was the one I paid $16,000 for, and it was the first one stepping out of the areas that I like, and it was a little bit messed up inside. So the first person I sold it to, they went in, and he was a contractor of some sort. He went in, lived in it, but renovated it. Not great, but renovated it. He had a boat. had a boat on the side of the house. The boat was worth more than the house. I'm like, I paid 16 grand for that house. I said, that boat is well over $16,000. Anyway, he lived there for years, and then he ended up moving to Florida. But and he listed the house for sale, it never sold. But when he moved to Florida, I don't know if it was out of bitterness or because he was a contractor, figured he can reuse it. He took out everything. Like, he took out the cabinets, the toilets, everything. So when we got the house back, it was completely without furniture, like, you go in the kitchen, it was just an empty room.
Okay.
There wasn't a sink, there was nothing. The bathrooms, there wasn't a toilet, a sink, nothing. The whole house was empty. So then I got a next person, and I did it just as is. I didn't do anything. I sold it as is. Well, the next person, I figured anybody who gets it's going to have to renovate, right?
Right.
And I don't know if you remember, I even put these pictures too in the event. Remember that house I showed you with the newspapers stacked up?
Yeah.
That was that house.
Oh,
so
okay.
the next person had it for like a year, and we never heard from them. They paid every month. Then they finally left. Well, when they left, Kevin and I went there, and it was newspapers stacked to the ceiling. Apparently they had some kind of scam. They were doing a newspaper delivery scam. I don't know what they were doing, but they weren't delivering them. The house was stacked with papers. No furniture, nobody lived in there. They were just using the house. So then while we were there, me and Kevin were talking. I said, we're going to have to clean this one out because you can't even step inside, right? But while we were there, we stuck signs out. We ended up with 2 people fighting with us over who's going to get it. And our rule is always first come, first serve. We don't pre-qualify. First come, first serve. First person to put the cash in my hand. No sinks, no cabinets, no toilets, nothing. And they're fighting with us over who's going to get it. So we end up, obviously the first person to come got it. The second person we ended up putting into another house on 18th Street, so it worked out. One lady was crying. She wanted it so bad. And you look at it and you're like, how do you want that? Well, anyway, so the person who got it completely renovated it.
Okay.
I mean, beautiful. Cabinets, appliances, the whole thing is absolutely beautiful. And so they completely renovated it. And then after like a year and a half, she moved away, gave the house back to us. So now I have a renovated house. So now, instead of we were getting $875 a month for it, we put it out at $1,100 a month because it's fully renovated now.
Right.
The person who's in there now has been paying perfect. So every time I get an alert on my phone when she pays $1,100, all I'm thinking in my head is I paid $16,000 for that house. Mind you, it's been paid off from the beginning, we've been collecting for so long, but I'm getting $1,100 a month on a house I paid $16,000 for, and I didn't do a lick of renovation. I didn't clean anything up. I didn't even pick up the newspapers. I did absolutely nothing. And I say that just to reiterate and get through your head how good the numbers are on slow flips. I mean, it's insane when you do the math. The calculations are insane.
Yeah.
There's nothing else like it. See this house, actually, if I can find it, and I'm pretty sure it's 46th Street. If I can find it, you'll see it really has to be sold together because the one is horrible. I don't think it cuts through. I think I gotta go up. If not, I can look it up in my phone, but I'm pretty sure I'll be able to find it. So when you see these houses, this condition, these kind of neighborhoods, what's your thought on you doing them?
I see potential for money.
Okay, now I'm just making sure because everybody has a different view in their head.
Just figure to get it at a better price.
So Kevin, this is the house I was telling you. You and I had an appointment on a while ago. Had the bullet holes in the front door. Do you remember it?
I do.
And then this is the church, and the one next to it. So it's the one to the right of it. Kind of looks a lot like that one that I just showed you. That was completely done. So let me tell you a little bit about what I know. So that house is completely gutted inside. So it's not very. I wouldn't really like it as a slow flip standing on its own. Okay. Well, I would still buy it, but I would buy it very inexpensively. Like if I was just offering on that one alone, I would probably want it between $5,000 and $10,000 because it needs everything. And when you spend that much on it, it's hardly going to be worth what you spent on the rehab, right? So then I found out it comes with the church also, And I was like, well, with the church also, I can probably pay 25, 30 grand combined, because then there's people always looking for a church. I don't know how that thing sat vacant. I met this guy over here. He's been there since the 40s.
Oh, wow.
He's been there since the 40s. Can you imagine? Do the math.
Wow.
I'm like, wow, really nice guy. And anyway, so he says, as far as he can remember, it's been vacant for 30 years. And there's people always looking for a church. So I believe that if I was able to get the contract on this, it's actually not mine, one of our guys, that we'd be able to sell it, probably combined for $139, $149, and make a combined price of like $975, $1075 a month. But they're getting the church, which is really what they probably want. And then this is a bonus that they can have their parishioners work on renovating or make it eventually livable. Right now it's completely gutted. But I think she said she wanted $45,000, and I kind of was like, no, you got to stick to 30 or less. And the reason is we want one payment of $667, so it can still work. Because that to me doesn't have a whole lot of value at all, because it's completely gutted inside. Actually, the front door was open. If you wanted to go in, we could, but you're not going to see anything you want to see in there. It's completely gutted. But from what he says, from what he told me about the church, he says it was still nice. He actually asked, he says, if you guys get it, there's a lamp in there I really wanted. And I told him, I said, no problem. If we get it, we'll take you in and let you get the lamp. And let me tell you how nice this guy is. And keep in mind, he's got to be in his 80s.
Yeah.
He's been mowing the lawn. He says, well, I didn't want her to get fined from the city, so she lives down in Atlanta, the lady who owns it.
Okay.
He's like, I didn't want her to get fined, so I come out here when I see it get high, and he mows the lawn. And real nice guy. He's been in that house since like the 40s.
Wow.
Yeah, it's real nice guy. It's people like that are great to have in your neighborhood because they know everything that's going on and they look out for everything. And so this is Travis is working on this deal right now. I'm hoping that he ends up getting it because I know we'll be able to sell it.
Right.
I know we get people all the time that want churches, and they'll put a church in anything. They'll put it in a warehouse or wherever. If they can get an actual church building, they'll be loving it. So I hope we get it. I kind of believe we will in time, generally through follow-up, but it'll come around.